Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. Millions of years ago, a being of great power divided his power into two parts, because he had a premonition in which a warrior was going to be the destroyer of everything that exists. That being, named Ryuk, was the creator god.
This power, the one who is worthy and capable of protecting all the temporal dimensions, will be the chosen one.
A sphere of ki issued throughout the universe said power wandered for millions of years. However, in Universe 7, to be more exact, on the planet Vegeta, two Saiyans with silver hair like their eyes were born. So it is, said energy had entered these, causing them to be born with the perfect Ultra Instinct. The Saiyans were Kakarot and Vegeta, which when they were born made all the universes tremble in the palace of everything.
Daishenkin, what's that tremor? Could you feel all that abysmal power? That's right, my lord. It's a gigantic power. Go immediately and bring them. We'll take care of that power ourselves, since it'll be our best ally.
Daishenkin would obey the great Zeno-Sama, leaving the Universe 7 at incredible speed. That's right, Daishenkin would arrive in a few minutes. However, when he arrived, he was able to observe the destroyer god Beerus of Universe 7 together with his angel Whis, which was about to destroy the entire planet Vegeta.
Simple monkeys, die! I'll not let that immense power exterminate me in the future.
But at that precise moment, an attack would collide with this one.
Who the hell dares not to follow the orders of the mighty god Beerus? You better calm down, Beerus, god of Universe 7, since this planet is under the protection of the great Zeno-Sama, because two Saiyans have been born with incredible power and will be our allies. Great Daishenkin-sama, I'm sorry for my disrespect to you.
Beerus and Whis would go to this planet. At that moment, Daishenkin would go down to the planet Vegeta, talking to King Vegeta.
I introduce myself. I am the High Priest, the guardian of Zeno-Sama. We have felt that two Saiyans have been born with a power beyond a god, and we want to raise them. It's a pleasure to have you in our humble High Priest planet. For my part, there is no problem, but the other Saiyan is from Bardock. Thanks, King Vegeta. Don't worry, I'll take care of talking to him. Okay. Take care of Prince Vegeta, please. You will be in the best hands. Don't worry.
Daishenkin would talk to Bardock, explaining everything that happened.
So our little Kakarot is a god. If you want, he'll become much more powerful. I accept it. You won't regret it. When you have free time, we'll make them visit you.
Daishenkin would leave with Kakarot and Vegeta. That's right, they have reached the kingdom completely. The power of both Saiyans, being just babies, were so much that they were even on par with the god of destruction. However, without from Universe 0, a universe that believed to exist, a being was watching them.
The beings that damn Ryuk left to exterminate me have finally been born. I'll let them get a little stronger and absorb them.
Returning to the kingdom completely, both Saiyans would continue as normal, and the Kakarot was not hitting his head, was much colder and more intelligent. After a few years, both Saiyans already had enough power to face a god of destruction and defeat them without any difficulty. Meanwhile, returning to the planet Vegeta, the evil Emperor Frieza was a little pensive, knowing that even the destroyer god Beerus was terrified by the power of both Saiyans. So Frieza decided to train to become much more powerful. Frieza had undergone rigorous training, returning to the kingdom completely. Approximately 7 years had passed since the birth of both Saiyans, in which both had already had enough power to face him, a guardian angel. But at any moment, both would fall unconscious. They had reached a part in their mind in which they met the God-created love Ryuk.
What is this? Are you inside our mind? I don't understand anything, vermin, but it will be much better that we find a way to return.
Apparently, you were the chosen ones.
Who spoke?
My name is Ryuk, and I'm the creator god.
I have offered you a large part of my power so that you're able to face a being that will appear in a few years with the intention of destroying everything.
Are you the creator god? You're so much stronger than Zeno-Sama, it seems. That's right, I believe Zeno-Sama. Goku and Vegeta were surprised to hear that Ryuk has mentioned. I just wanted to meet you and tell you to make an effort since the approaching enemy is not weak.
We are from the Saiyan warrior race, the most powerful. You should not worry.
Goku and Vegeta would come too. Both already had the mission to become much more powerful. Meanwhile, in Universe 7, a being would appear in front of Frieza. He was sent by the negative creator god.
Emperor Frieza, you call yourself. I come to offer you even greater power, but you must first master to be able to be worthy.
Who the hell are you?
My name does not matter. Your mission is to eliminate the Saiyans, Goku and Vegeta. Leave them on the verge of death, and bring them to the center of the universe.
What if I refuse?
At that moment, Frieza felt a tear in his entire body. That subject, with the power of his eyes, had left him on the verge of death. The power of said being was so much that even Frieza was not able to do anything.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
That's better. First, you'll have to master all this power that I'm going to give you. And then, yes, eliminate all those damned. It doesn't matter who stands in front of you.
Understood. From today, I'll train this new power.
Returning to the Kingdom of Everything, both Saiyans were training with Daishinkan and Zeno-Sama in a special room, so they were able to increase their powers much more, so they would continue for a few years more. However, the power of both Saiyan children grew incredibly. Both were already at the level of a supreme god. After a few days, in the Kingdom of Everything, a meeting would take place in which the most powerful beings of all the multiverses would attend. The multiverse of Zeno-Sama was Multiverse 6. In a few words, the weakest of all, from one moment to the next, a being with imposing flashing red eyes if they came close to it.
Time without seeing you, Zeno-Sama. Apparently your multiverse is still weak of all. Oh, competent.
Zeno would give a smile knowing that Goku and Vegeta, being just children, were capable of defeating almost any god. However, when Vegeta heard this, he would get angry and into the conversation.
Our multiverse is now weak. If we want, we can destroy any being in his universe.
What a child is doing in this place?
They were raised by Daishinkan and me, and they're like my children. If you do something to them, I swear I'll kill you.
I can't imagine losing to you, damn dwarf. Okami would approach Zeno-Sama, who wanted to get into a battle pose. However, at that precise moment, Okami with a powerful blow would make him fall to the ground, very injured. His power is still insufficient to beat me. Vegeta, unable to control his anger, would pounce against said subject, who was going to knock him out with a single finger, but at that moment, Vegeta was able to dodge his blow, and he would counterattack with a blow, which would push the King of Everything the way back Okami a few meters.
The blow of that child is incredible. He was able to push back a king completely with a single blow.
I swear I'll kill that damn dwarf. I won't let him make fun of me. But at that moment, an incredible pressure would crush everyone as if it were serious. The most powerful king had arrived, who had become enraged, witnessing how Okami was going to attack some children.
How dare you, Okami, to want to attack a simple child? You know that this is paid for with blood.
I'm sorry, King of Everything Supreme. I just got angry. And besides, this place is exclusively for deities. Simple children should not be here.
That is why I have summoned you in this place. The powerful creator god Ryuk finally found the chosen ones.
Seriously? Who is it?
There are two children who were born with the power of a creator god, and those children are here.
That moment, Goku and Vegeta would pass, leaving everyone surprised.
Welcome to all the deities of a different multiverses. That's right, as the Supreme King of Everything said, Goku and Vegeta possess within them the power of a king of everything.
This is impossible, as two mere mortals can have the power of a supreme deity like the creator god Ryuk-sama.
None of us knows. It just happened, and now we are training these two Saiyans since they were born, since their potential is incredible.
Those two Saiyans will be the saviors of all the multiverses, so you should treat them with the same respect that you treat me.
all the eccentric gods, and at the end of the meeting, they would return to each of their multiverses. However, 4 years had already passed since Kronos had given power to Frieza. Both Saiyans were approximately 12 years old, and they were already capable of Daishenkin using 45% of all his power, and that was brutal, knowing that they were just children.
Hey, Vegeta, don't you feel like visiting our parents?
You're right, Kakarot. Let's tell the great Zeno-Sama to go to our planet.
Both Saiyans would talk with Zeno-Sama, who had become good friends with both children. They even played together in their spare time.
Zeno-Sama, can we go to our planet? We want to visit our parents.
Of course. If Goku and Vegeta ask Daishenkin to take them to their parents, I have no problem.
Goku and Vegeta would leave in search of Daishenkin to go to the planet Vegeta. When they found it, they had began to go to Universe 7. However, when they arrived, they observed how their entire planet was about to explode. The planet Vegeta had been reduced to atoms. Goku and Vegeta were surprised. However, far from that place, they felt that the power of Beerus, the god of destruction, was diminishing rapidly.
The subject that eliminated our planet must be the same subject that's fighting with Mr. Beerus.
Goku and Vegeta would reach a part of space with the help of Daishenkin. However, when Frieza watches Daishenkin, he would remember,
those two Saiyans will never be without Daishenkin. So when it appears, this negative energy barrier activates. This will allow the Daishenkin to be out of action for a few minutes, during which time you must kill those Saiyans. Frieza would activate his barrier, causing Daishenkin to be on the ground, knocked out. Frieza had managed to activate the seal that would be able to knock Daishenkin out of action for a time, in which he had to kill both Saiyans. Frieza, without trusting himself upon learning that both Saiyans were the descendants of a creator god, had gone on to his new transformation. Frieza would go to Black Frieza, which gave off incredible power.
Now I will annihilate them simple monkeys.
Ha ha ha! Damn insect! Even if you knock out Daishenkin, you won't be able to do anything against us!
However, from one moment to the next, the Emperor of Evil began to sweep the floor with the Prince of the Saiyans. He was able to give him a few good blows, which was seriously injuring him. Kakarot, realizing this, he would go Ultra Instinct, launching himself against Frieza. However, Frieza would dodge his attacks with the little difficulty, but it would give him time to vegetate and pass to Ultra Ego. The power of both Saiyans was so much that they made them tremble the 12 universes with the clashes of their fists. While they exchanged blows, Kakarot would tell him,
"Why have you destroyed our planet? Weren't the Saiyans your most faithful soldiers?" "That's right, but a guy with a mental power gave me that, or..."
At that moment, a sphere of ki would envelop Frieza. He was feeling immense pain when realizing a bit of information, and sphere would enter his body, dominating him completely.
"Did I find you?"
Kakarot was not able to finish his sentence because Frieza would take him out with a sneaky blow, making him destroy a few mountains that were around him.
Damn, Kakarot, are you okay?
"Vegeta, don't worry about me, but apparently I'm being much more powerful than Frieza is and manipulating him."
I understand, so that's what it's all about.
Both Saiyans, realizing that separately they had no chance, began to fight as a team. These fighting as a team had an incredible bit, being able to even put the Emperor of Evil, Frieza, into trouble. Meanwhile, in Universe 0, Kronos was sitting on his throne, which would be said to be a little annoying.
Those two Saiyans will end Frieza's life. It'll be better for the 12 generals to take care of this problem. 12th and 11th, come immediately!
At that time, two warriors in armor would appear in front of it.
What are you offering, great Kronos-sama? I want you to go to the multiverse, which has the key of the creator god, since the cold demon that we entrusted with the mission will not be able to execute it. Don't worry, sir. Leave it in our hands.
Returning with the battle, both Saiyans were putting the Great Frieza in great trouble, which, with the passage of the battle, was increasingly tired.
"I will not let simple Saiyan children make fun of me. Now, I will exterminate them."
Frieza increasing much more power, Frieza would use 100% of all his power, managing to take a little advantage.
"I can't take any more, Vegeta. I feel like this bastard's going to kill us. His power is so much that I feel like he's crushing me."
You don't look defeated, Kakarot, since I can realize that his body does not control all that power. If we endure a little more, we'll be able to defeat him.
Goku and Vegeta began to use ki in their defenses. Both Saiyans knew that the Emperor of Evil, Frieza, would not stand so much. Frieza began to give him a shrapnel of blows from Vegeta, which he did not counterattack. He just received. Annoyed, Kakarot was going to launch Help Vegeta, which Annoying would launch with a sphere of ki.
It's my battle. Don't interfere, worm.
It's the first time I've seen a Saiyan as proud as you are.
That's because I'm the great Vegeta!
Frieza would continue to slaughter Vegeta with blows, which at that moment would realize that Frieza's power was decreasing in an incredible way.
Kakarot, it's now!
Vegeta would stop Frieza's next blow, and with a sneaky blow, he would make him go through some planets. Vegeta's blow had an incredible power, making Frieza kneel in pain. Both Saiyans began to massacre Frieza quickly, making him all his ki decrease in an impressive way.
This is what I meant when I told you not to attack. You must not be so impulsive, Kakarot.
I understand, Vegeta. Now let's end this suffering of Frieza.
Frieza would lose his transformation, returning to his ordinary form. However, before he died, he was able to regain his consciousness.
I never thought to say this to some simple monkeys, but thank you. Now they must leave. And with the little power I have, I will create a barrier, since two beings that have to overcome my power will come at incredible speed.
Frieza's body would be surrounded by a powerful destructive energy. Frieza thought to create a barrier with all his vitality. At that moment, Frieza was able to dominate all that energy of destruction and channel it into the palm of his hand.
Walk through all these 12 universes. Explode immense.
An immense explosion would be seen in the 12 universes. Meanwhile, with both generals, when they were about to reach Zeno-Sama's multiverse, they collided fiercely with the barrier. Frieza had succeeded. Both generals were throwing balls of energy combined attacks, however, the barrier did not crack.
Damn, this barrier is made mostly of destructive energy. It'll be very difficult for us to destroy it. This will take us a few months. You are correct, 11th, but we cannot return to King Kronos without the heads of those two Saiyans. If we do, it will be our end.
Both warriors having too much ki, their energy reserves were practically unlimited, and they could attack with the same power for months. Meanwhile, returning to the Kingdom of Everything, Daishoken had returned together with both Saiyans, reporting everything that had happened to this great Zeno-Sama.
So they have finally realized Kronos. From what I understand, he is one of the most loyal warriors. The creator god Ryuk never wanted to defeat him. Kronos was only collateral damage, but he called himself the negative creator god. Does that mean that Kronos is not the true creator god, my lord? This is Daishoken, the true negative creator god. If he died in battle, and he needs a practically unlimited source of energy to come back to life.
Daishoken would be shocked to find out about all this. However, at that moment, he would enter Kakarot along with Vegeta.
If they're looking for us, we'll face them. I know that this moment we're not rivals for them, but we will train in this time.
That's right. We are the two most powerful Saiyans of all multiverse, and of any other multiverse known to unknown. We have in our veins the power of a creator god. You are correct. You are the salvation of this entire multiverse, or rather, of that entire omniverse.
Daishoken along with both Saiyans had entered a very special dimension, which made them raise their power in a surprising way. Without being affected by time, in that place both Saiyans began their arduous training. After approximately 4 months, Kakarot and Vegeta were able to beat Daishoken separately without any difficulty.
I have taught you everything I know. Now it is your very ability, and everything you love to this omniverse, which will unlock your hidden power.
I appreciate your Daishoken care. Since we were babies until now, I swear that we'll defend this omniverse even with our lives.
That's right, Daishoken, but don't worry, since it's not in our plans to die yet.
The three would leave the room. However, their surprise was great when they observed the 12 universes in chaos, and Zeno-Sama in his combat form was very badly injured.
I did everything possible to give him time. Everything is in his hands. You were a great opponent, King of Everything of this multiverse, but your power is not enough.
At that moment, a sphere of ki would end the life of Zeno-Sama. However, before dying, this would make his spirit leave his body.
Kakarot and Vegeta, the most powerful Saiyans I've ever met. Don't die, since now I don't see you as the saviors of this multiverse. You're like children. Take care of yourselves.
At that moment, Zeno-Sama's spiritual energy would be exhausted, vanishing into nothingness. Kakarot would be left blank, knowing that his best friend had died. Kakarot's ki was increasing in an incredible way. Since Kakarot was the one who got along best with Zeno-Sama, and his anger was much greater, Kakarot was increasing his power in an impressive way, going to Ultra Instinct maximum power.
I swear I'll exterminate them, and together with the bastard of the negative creator god, they will not be opponents for me.
Ha 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 ha! This fucking trash doesn't know what he's saying. Now it's time for him to die.
However, Kakarot, at a speed that not even Vegeta was able to observe, would hit both generals who were left on the floor due to the pain they felt.
But what happened? I was not able to see anything. This is incredible. The power of the Saiyan is overwhelming.
Kakarot wouldn't stop. The rage he gave off was incredible. Kakarot was massacring both generals who had no hope. However, at that moment, the 12th general was able to land a big blow on Kakarot, which would send him a few meters back.
We have to make it 11th. I agree with you. Curse demonic technique! Divine demonic union!
The power of the entire 12th general had entered the 11th general's body. Divine Demon Union consisted of the higher level being keeping his body, while the lower level being becoming part of it for approximately 24 hours.
Now if you will regret not having killed us in the beginning.
They won't be a match for me. Their power is miserable if I compare them with my power. I don't care what method they use, it'll be in vain against me.
The new subject would call himself a Divine General. He would launch himself against Kakarot, giving him a shrapnel of blows, sending him flying to different planets of the 12 universes.
What happened to all your damn Saiyan energies? Is that all?
However, even the new warrior would begin to tremble, observing that this one, with his fists at his maximum power, had not caused him a single scratch.
I wanted to see how far your power was from mine, but apparently the distance is as big as heaven and earth. Your blows weren't able to tickle me.
Don't make mock at me! Receive this universe-destroying sphere!
A gigantic sphere was being loaded onto said general's finger. That's right, when he was the size of a planet, he would throw it. Gogeta would be scared to feel such power.
It'll be better to escape, Kakarot. That attack surpasses you by a lot.
Too big to be such a simple attack. The general's attack would collide with Kakarot, causing him to crash into the planet.
How about that, miserable? Now suffer!
However, at that precise moment, a laugh would rumble throughout that multiverse.
That pathetic attack will be nothing against me.
Kakarot with his hands would be able to return it to him, and he would charge a powerful sphere of energy. The attack would colliding with the general would disintegrate it, leaving nothing.
I was able to beat those miserables.
At that moment, Kakarot would fall to the ground, knocked out. Kakarot was able to defeat the fusion of the generals. However, the price to pay had been very high, since the veins of Kakarot's body had exploded. That's right, Kakarot's body could not bear such excess energy, and his spiritual sea, or better known as his internal sea of energy, was affected. It had already been a few months since the loss of Kakarot's cultivation, but he did not wake up.
Daishaken, why doesn't Kakarot wake up? Did he die? He will wake up, but I can't imagine what his reaction will be when he finds out that he lost all his power.
Meanwhile, in Kakarot's mind, he was in a meditation pose. That's right, Kakarot in that battle knew that his cultivation would explode, so he performed a duplication of all his spiritual sea. The chances of the technique working were only 5%. Kakarot was recovering his power, but at that moment, the creator god Ryuga would appear in front of Kakarot.
Creator god Ryuga, what are you doing inside of me?
I am only in your mind, but I come to inform you of something catastrophic.
Kakarot would change his countenance to a more serious one.
Has something bad happened in my absence?
For the moment, no. But in a few months, I fear that something terrible will happen. The energy of the negative creator god is affecting the most powerful supreme gods. And upon realizing your supposed death, some supreme gods have decided to change sides.
Are you telling me that the supreme gods joined the negative creator god?
For the most part. The only one who still believes in me is the most powerful Supreme God, Takami. But even with his maximum power, he would not be able to face all the Supreme Gods together.
I understand, Ryuga-sama, but in what time will they attack?
I could not tell you for sure, but with the spiritual body that I formed, I could hear that in approximately 48 hours, they will be in this multiverse.
That's very little time. I'm still affected from the last battle against those generals.
I know, Kakarot, but the Supreme Gods waited for your awakening for approximately 6 months. And when they didn't wake up, they decided to change sides because if they didn't, it meant death.
Thank you very much for all the information. I'll do everything possible to reawaken all my power as soon as possible.
I trust you.
Ryuk would disappear from the mind of Kakarot. Returning to the realm of the whole was the Prince of the Saiyans who had already reached adulthood.
It's been a while, Kakaroto, since I trained with you. I swear I'll avenge you.
Mr. Vegeta, seems that the Supreme Gods are heading towards this multiverse. If they continue at the same speed, they'll arrive in approximately 36 hours.
I understand, Daishinken. What do these insects want now?
What none of those knew was that the Supreme Gods were going to devastate this entire multiverse since one of the Chosen Ones had died on the battlefield. Flashback 6 months ago, Daishinken would take the body of Kakaroto, leading to the Palace of Everything. Daishinken would use all his techniques to make Kakarot wake up, but it was all in vain. At that time, Kronos was the right hand of the negative creator god, appeared in each of the multiverses of the Supreme Gods with the exception of Takami, because Kronos knew the loyalty that Takami had in the creator god. However, fear had invaded all the other Supreme Gods, being easy to manipulate.
If you don't want to die, you'll have to join the negative creator god. Otherwise, you'll die right now.
Okami, furious to know that they were threatening a supreme god, would create a huge sphere of energy, throwing it with all his power. But he was surprised when he realized that this attack was disintegrated with only one hand.
Apparently we have the right test subject to demonstrate what happens if they don't want to collaborate with us.
Kronos would disappear from the palace. He was moving at an incredible speed. Even for a supreme god, Kronos would connect a strong blow, leaving Okami, the third most powerful supreme god, out of combat.
If he continues with that arrogant attitude when he wakes up, he'll leave me no choice but to exterminate him.
After approximately 3 hours and 15 minutes, Okami would wake up, realizing that he was still in the same place. However, at that moment, a feeling of terror would fall in his body. If a single subordinate of the negative creator god has all this power, I can't even imagine the amazing power that legendary negative creator god must possess.
And what have you decided, third supreme god? Are you with us or against us?
The supreme god Okami, swallowing his pride, would get on his knees. I intend to fight for the negative creator god, and whoever stands in his way, I'll annihilate him.
That's much better. Now stand up. What do the other supreme gods tell me? Will they be with us, or shall we start the bloodbath?
All the other gods agreed, otherwise they'd be killed. Vegeta and Daishinken were training. After all this time, Vegeta was able to dominate all his power. Being above the power of a supreme god, Vegeta and Daishinken would have a fight, and Vegeta was already able to defeat Daishinken.
I congratulate you, Mr. Vegeta. You really deserve to be the Prince of the Saiyans.
Thank you, Daishinken, but I wouldn't have achieved any of this without your help. At that moment, some beings had landed in the training field where Daishinken and Vegeta were. That's right, the Supreme Gods had arrived to the multiverse of Zeno-Sama. At that moment, Daishinken was going to receive them, however, Vegeta would notice the murderous look of all of them, and would take Daishinken by the arm and would put a cold look on his face.
You're not the Supreme Gods we saw last time. Who are you?
Of course we're us. I still remember the blow you gave me when I was just a simple child. This moment, I'll give it back to you multiplied.
We're sorry, Daishinken, but we really had no choice.
Supreme Gods on guard and attack! Don't be confident, because even if you don't have the combat experience of us, you still possess the power of a creator god.
Damn it. Despite observing there are only 2 of us, the 6 Supreme Gods will attack together.
Vegeta passed the Ultra Ego dominated 100%. while Daishinkan agreed to his new transformation, which he had been able to achieve in his difficult training. However, he was still below the Prince of the Saiyans. Vegeta, being more powerful than Daishinkan, was fighting against 4 supreme gods at the same time. However, at that same instant, as if it was lightning, came a powerful being wrapped in flames. That's right, the first supreme god had appeared on the battlefield, hitting all the gods with his fists of fire. What did the negative creator god offer them? Whatever it is, it'll not fulfill. We must have faith in the creator god Ryuga-sama.
We have had the faith of all these millions of years, and what happened? Nothing! 6 months ago, the negative creator god paid each of us a visit, and if we don't swear loyalty, he'll kill us. What do you want us to do, Yakami? Yakami would be shocked to realize that the negative creator god had put them up against a wall. No matter what you say, Yakami, today we'll finish off the last descendant of Ryuga, and neither you nor anyone else will be able to stop us. Meanwhile, in a faraway place, the negative creator god was standing. So, finally, the supreme gods are on my side. Good job, Kronos. But those bastards will only be my food because I want to wake up completely.
I understand, sir, but now they're wiping out your brother's offspring.
The negative creator god by the name of Lucille looked at Kronos again with a very cold look and angry look.
Don't repeat that damned one again as my brother. I'm sorry, sir, it won't happen again.
Returning to the realm of the hole in the room where Kakarot rested, a power flowed from him little by little. That moment inside his mind. At last, I've regained all my spiritual C. Please, Daishinkan, Vegeta, resist. I'm coming with you. Kakarot at that moment would open his eyes, noticing some devices he had in his body. As Daishinkan would use everything to make Kakarot wake up, Kakarot would quickly start going to the training ground. As Kakarot felt how the powers of Vegeta, Daishinkan, and Yakami were about to disappear, seconds before Kakarot would arrive, he would witness how all the gods were carrying great power. Infernal Dragon Rain! Spiritual Reduction! Millions of red dates were heading towards the 3 warriors at a great speed. Just as Ryuga had said, Yakami, despite being the most powerful supreme god, was not able to defeat them all together, because when he was going to annihilate one, another supreme god prevented him. Damn it! I'll die here without being able to do anything. I'm a disgrace to my race.
I'm sorry, Zeno-Sama. Your sacrifice was in vain. I wasn't able to protect Kakarot or Vegeta.
At that moment, when the attack was about to impact them, a being would stand in the way of that attack. Punishing Finger! Kakarot, with only one of his fingers, was able to destroy each of his arrows. That's right, the power of Kakarot had increased in a supernatural way. In that time that Kakarot was unconscious, his body was accumulating power, and all that power would be added to his new spiritual C, having an impressive power. Who is that being that stopped our attack? This doesn't make sense, but let's not let them recover their energies. They should have used their last of their energies to stop that attack. At that moment, all the supreme gods charged a great energy of destruction. But great was their surprise when they felt how an energy attack that did not lose with their power collided with their Haki energy. This is impossible! I can't believe that those 3 have so much power! But at that moment, everyone froze when they heard a voice they would recognize instantly. I'd understand if they destroyed the entire multiverse, but if they wanted to kill my friends when I wasn't there, I won't forgive them! This is a fucking nightmare. You should be dead! This isn't happening! Look how dead I am! Kakarot would send some more power to his attack. He won the clash of powers. A big explosion would be created in all of that place, destroying everything around him. Kakarot would create a powerful barrier that would cover Vegeta, Daishinkan, and Yakami. You've done enough. Now I'll take care of the rest. Without the smoke dissipating, all the supreme gods launched into the attack. Everyone would think that they would have the advantage as Kakarot could not see anything, but this was nothing for the being that received the power of a creator god, as Kakarot would dodge every one of his blows. How is this possible? I can't believe it!
I'll cut you with the demonic sword, flames of the celestial underworld.
One of the supreme gods would rush at Kakarot with a sword wrapped in blue flames, but Kakarot would stop it with his fingertips and break it by exerting a little more pressure. Kakarot would stop playing games, leaving all the Supreme Gods out of combat in less than 15 seconds. And at that moment, he would create a sphere of energy that would connect with the place where Lucille was located.
I still don't know who you are, but I swear that I will look for you and I'll annihilate you with my own hands. You already snatched Zeno-Sama from me. I don't care who you are. I'll exterminate you.
Kakarot had opened a portal to the dimension of the creator god Lucille. However, in spite of the amazing thing that was his power, it was not enough to connect him completely. Nevertheless, with all the anger that he had, Kakarot would give a strong roar of beast, which was able to connect all the necessary dimensions to go to the negative creator god. But at that moment that Kakarot was about to enter this dimension, a powerful blow would send him to crash into the kingdom of everything. At that moment, Kronos would come out of the portal, and with a big smile, he would stand in front of all the warriors.
Damn worms. They're useless. So, now I'll keep all their powers.
Kronos at that moment would carry a great dragon of energy, but the attack was different since the moment of the collision, hundreds of rays were connected between them, and in the same way all the power would begin to enter his whole body. Vegeta, realizing this, at his maximum speed he launched himself to prevent it, but it had already been too late. That's right, at that moment the Prince of the Saiyans had been sent to fly hundreds of kilometers with multiple serious wounds throughout his body. At the moment, a great explosion would be created all over the place, and at that moment of dissipating it, it could be observed to Kronos, which his body radiated an incredible power. Kakarot, at that moment of recovering from the blow, would launch an attack against Kronos. But great was the surprise of all when observing how the furtive blow of Kakarot had been stopped with only one of the hands of Kronos had given a great blow which would send him to fly all around.
Are you really the chosen one by the god creator, Ryuk? You're too weak.
Kronos at that moment, he approached everyone and amazing pressure would fall all over the place, leaving everyone in awe of the power he gave off. That's right, however, at that moment, an equally powerful pressure would be felt.
Your power's great. Now I can finally use the new power that I was able to achieve.
Kakarot at that moment would begin to increase his power to the maximum, leaving astonished all those present. That's right, the power he was releasing was shaking all the universes. Even planets were destroyed by such excess energy. At the moment, rays came out of the body of Goku, and an extremely incredible explosion, which would even send Vegeta, Daishinkan, and Takami to fly. Kakarot would be observed in the Celestial Super Saiyans 3.
I hope you're ready to taste a small power of my true power.
Meanwhile, in a very distant place, Lucia was watching everything that happened, being a little surprised by the power that this Saiyan gave off. That's right, his power was so great that even Lucia had been amazed.
The power of that Saiyan's incredible, although it still doesn't compare with my true power. But it does seem that Kronos will have a serious problem. I'll have to keep collecting energy.
Lucille, while watching the battle, hundreds of millions of energy entered his body, belonging to millions of beings from all the omniverses. Returning to the battlefield, Kakarot and Kronos had launched one against the other. At the time of colliding their fists, millions of planets were blown into pieces. Kakarot, while exchanging fists with Kronos, had noticed that the three warriors had trouble breathing. At that moment, Kronos would connect a great blow, which would make him fall to the ground. Kakarot would recover quickly, being able to throw a great barrier of energy towards his companions.
Now I can fight without worrying since they'll be safe.
It doesn't matter what you do, because when I'm done with you, they'll become food for the creator god Lucille.
That'll only happen if you manage to finish me off.
At that moment, a great dragon would come out of Kakarot's fist. However, Kronos, with only one of his hands, would be able to disintegrate it. But this was nothing more than a simple distraction, because the real attack was coming from his side. That's right, at that moment, a powerful fist of Kakarot sent it to fly to a nearby planet. Kronos had fallen to an amazing power, being dragged all over the place.
So that's why you don't trust me. I'm not a being which you can underestimate. I'm the successor of the legendary creator god Ryuk.
Kakarot at that moment would begin to charge one of his most powerful attacks, throwing it without thinking. Kronos, observing this in the same way, would quickly throw an attack. The attack of both was destroying everything in its path. After a big explosion, Kakarot would be sent to fly hundreds of meters, while Kronos, with his last reserves of energy, would be able to return to the dimension where Lucille was. At the end of the smoke, Kakarot was with some energies, however, nothing that endangered his life. At that time, Kakarot would approach his friends, however, the most surprised would be Vegeta, as the power of Kakarot had exceeded it by dozens of times.
Kakarot, have you been able to get all that power? Your power and mine were evenly matched, and in all this time you were spent out of combat. I should be more powerful.
The creator god Ryuk was able to give me to wake up much faster. But don't worry, Vegeta, he left this for you.
Kakarot would throw a large sphere of energy towards Vegeta, which was wrapped in a highly destructive purple aura. That's right, Vegeta was releasing his power in an amazing way, and he was able to take this Ultra Ego to a level never seen before in the divine world. At least a large explosion, Vegeta could be observed, which seemed to not have changed in the least. But the power he gave off was overwhelming.
This power is amazing. I can't believe the power that I have now. With this power, nothing and no one will be able to defeat us.
Don't trust Vegeta because the power of Lucille, the creator god that we must defeat, is incredible. We must train and be prepared, although I have the perfect technique to defeat him.
What's that technique, Kakarot? I want to end this once and for all, and I want to return to the plane of Vegeta.
We'll make the fusion, and we'll create the supreme warrior who will be able to end the life of Lucille once and for all.
Fusion? Is this possible between two beings who surpass the power of a king at all? Won't the body explode?
Of course not. There are two methods of fusion. One which is the dance, and the second which is the one we'll use through the earrings of the supreme Samas.
I'm not gonna merge with you, you damn insect.
We only do it if it's necessary, Vegeta, since we don't know the limit of Lucille's power, so we better start training.
I like that much better. Now I'm ready. Prepare to become more powerful.
At that moment, Kakarot would increase his power to the maximum. That's right, Kakarot, with that great power that was able to seal the entire multiverse of Zeno-Sama, so that nothing and no one would be able to enter or leave, unless it exceeded the power of Kakarot. At that moment, the three warriors began to train in a much more savage and aggressive way. However, Daishinkan was far beyond the powers of both Saiyans. However, at that moment, the form of Zeno-Sama would represent in the entire multiverse.
I like you, Goku, despite all my spiritual C, but it would take me approximately 1,000 years, so I entrust this power to Daishinkan.
At that moment, the power of Zeno-Sama was entering the body of Daishinkan, which with so much power was going to explode. But Kakarot, with an amazing speed, had given him thousands of blows in his veins of energy to stabilize. At that moment, the body of Daishinkan was stabilized. However, 75% of the power of Zeno-Sama was sealed, so if he absorbed all the power of Zeno-Sama at once, he'd be able to explode.
Daishinkan-sama, first master all the power that you have now. The more power you master, the more power you have. The more power you'll be part of your spiritual sea.
Understood, Kakarot. Then it is time to train with much more dedication and much more effort to be able to finish with that wretch.
Meanwhile, returning to Lucille's dimension, Kronos had arrived in terrible conditions, and at that moment he would fall to the ground. Lucille, observing him, would stretch one of his hands, throwing an astonishing negative energy on Kronos.
If you're able to dominate all that power, you'll survive. The negative energy will heal each one of your wounds, but if you're not able to dominate it, the negative power will finish you off.
Kronos at that moment would begin to vomit large amounts of blood. That's right, the power he had obtained was destroying his body from the inside.
It hurts. It hurts too much.
After a few days in which Kronos had felt the most agonizing pain, an overwhelming power had come out of Kronos' body. That's right, Kronos was able to dominate all that majestic power, and in the same way, all the powers of his body had begun to heal quickly.
I thank you for the power that my lord has granted me. With this power, I'll be able to defeat one of those miserable Saiyans. I don't want you to trust me, so increase your power, and if necessary, gather the demonic spheres and ask for reinforcements, because this battle will not be easy at all. Of course I'll train, my lord, but tell me, which warrior will we bring to life with his spheres?
I have the perfect candidate.
the being who's never known defeat, the exterminator of kings, gods, and even gods, the being who took his own life, since no one was a match for his power.
Kronos was very surprised since he had never heard of such an amazing being as that one.
I've never heard of a being such as that power. He's the being that very few beings know, since he annihilated every being that fought him. The only being that survived fighting with him you have seen in front of your eyes. My lord, have you been able to fight against someone of that power? That's right. That's why I'm called the negative creator god. The power of that being is amazing, and hardly a warrior can surpass it. Understood, sir. I'll gather the dark spheres right now.
Meanwhile, returning to Kakarot and the three others, the warriors were having an amazing training, being able to surpass the power of a king at all, and being able to break the barrier of a multiversal level.
I have now been able to master Zeno-Sama's power to 50%. My power has increased in an amazing way.
I'm very proud of you, Daishoken-sama. We're getting closer and closer to be able to master all our powers and be able to finish with the evil root of all, since that damn Lucio is the being that spreads his negativity throughout all the universes.
That wretch will know defeat. I'm the prince of the Saiyans. That'll be the being that'll finish him off.
Vegeta, we have increased our powers in an incredible way, but we must be ready in case it's not enough. We know both fusions.
Yes, damn insect, but it won't be necessary since our power has been able to surpass any being.
Meanwhile, returning to Kronos and Lucio, Kronos had been able to gather all the negative spheres. At the moment of invoking the great dark god, an amazing negativity would be felt all over the place.
You bastards have awoken me from my sleep. Tell me, what is your wish?
Dark Dragon, what I want is for you to bring to life the legendary Kingslayer.
Even the Dark Dragon would be a little surprised.
Do you know what you're asking me? If that being comes back to life, he'll be able to kill all the beings of the multiverses and even omniverses.
Of course I know. Just fulfill my wish and leave.
Okay, I will do what you ask me to do.
At that moment, the eyes of the great dragon would light up, and at that moment, an amazing power would appear. Even lightning bolts, fireballs, and everything around him would tremble because of the power that had appeared. Even the barrier of Kakarot would crack. From a great explosion, an opposing warrior would be observed.
Well. If it isn't you, Lucille, the only being that was able to endure a battle against me.
So, you recognize me.
I think that's excellent. Why did you bring me to life? If you don't have a good answer, I swear I'll kill you, since I've increased my battle level even more.
I know, but wouldn't you like to kill Ryuga's descendants?
I find this very interesting. Of course I'll help you, but first, observe my power limit.
At that moment, Archon began to increase his power to the maximum. Even shadows and negativity came out of his aura, and in the same way, all the multiverses were trembling because of all the power he was giving off. An astonishing roar would be felt by all the multiverses, or rather all that omniverse was involved in destruction. At that moment, the barrier which Kakarot put had been completely destroyed, and a surprising pressure would fall on all the multiverse of Zeno-Sama. At that moment, the three warriors had fallen to their knees, to be training without releasing so much power.
What the hell? Who wields all this power? It's amazing the power he's releasing, so much that it even makes my body shudder.
It's an amazing power, but I'm not gonna let that power crush all the training I've gone through.
At that moment, Daishoken would increase his power to the maximum. He even dominated 87% of Zeno-Sama's power. At that moment, the pressure had decreased drastically. At the same instant, Goku and Vegeta had increased the power of their doctrines with which they were already able to withstand that incredible pressure. However, they were very astonished by the power that this guy was releasing.
This must be the work of the cursed Lucio, since he's the only one capable of calling a warrior of that power.
The power of that being's incredible. It seems that this battle won't be easy at all.
Going back to Archon, he would stop expelling all his power.
What the hell? How did you get all that power?
The power of the Annihilator Kings is abominable. Our victory is completely assured.
In the other world, I've been training in the same way. I've not been wasting my time as you think.
But tell me when we'll finish with the descendants of that bastard Ryuga.
We'll do it in about 1 week, since we need to prepare for the final battle.
That's right, because there is the slightest failure, beings will be completely exterminated by those wretches. You don't have to worry about me. With me, you'll have victory assured. But in this week, I'll take care of training you and make your bodies as strong as steel.
At that moment, Archon with a great speed would give thousands of blows to both warriors, who would fall to the ground badly wounded.
Lucio, your power, on the contrary of increasing, has decreased in an amazing way. Millions of years ago, you were able to dodge those blows. You've become so powerful, but I haven't fallen behind. Watch this.
Lucio at that moment also began to increase his power to the maximum. All his sea of energy began to spin, because his ki veins were carrying more power than usual. At that moment of a big explosion, Lucio had launched an attack against Archon, while Kronos was not able to do anything. However, he would launch himself against Archon.
I'll not stay behind. I'm a being that even has the power to end the life of a king altogether.
Both warriors began to fight against Archon, who, without any difficulty, dodged and blocked each of his blows. At the same time, he increased his power a little more, leaving both of them very wounded.
The lack of power and endurance in the remaining week, we'll focus on that.
Lucio would say to himself,
how has he been able to increase his power to this scale? I can't assimilate it. This is a double-edged sword. As it can help me finish off Ryuga's offspring, it can also help finish me off.
However, Archon was thinking the exact same thing, since at that moment he would say to himself,
the power of Ryuga's offspring must be strong, otherwise they would have brought me to life. When we finish with them, the next ones will be those bastards. Only I must be the only king to rule everything.
Meanwhile, return to the trio of warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta at that moment would take their training much more seriously, knowing that an extremely powerful being was going to confront them.
The power that was felt a few minutes ago is an amazing power, but I'm sure we can fight against those powers. No matter how complicated the situation, we'll be the victors.
Of course we will! All this will be for the victory of Ryuga-sama.
At that moment, the trio of warriors had considered a training with much greater difficulty to be able to increase their power in a more effective way. Meanwhile, in all the other multiverses, all the kings of everything had fallen. That is, in all the multiverses, there was total chaos, since there was no divine being of high power. All the other beings began to massacre each other. Returning to Lucio and the three others, the three warriors had increased their power in an amazing way. However, they were still not at the level of Archon, who with only 50% of all his power was able to defeat them without any difficulty.
That damned one. When we finish with all the descendants of Ryuga, only one way and another I'll have to finish with Archon, because his power is able to finish even me. Tomorrow will be the day that all this will end. Tomorrow, it'll be decided if we stay alive or dead.
At that moment, an incredible power would be released all over the place. Even some of Kronos' bones were broken due to such power.
Are you doubting our victory? I don't feel any high power, so our victory is more than assured. I have checked every failure, and there's no chance for us to fail. I'm very sorry for doubting your power, mighty Archon-sama.
At that moment, Archon would increase his pressure, allowing Kronos to be able to move. The last day had passed quickly. At that moment, the trio of warriors would begin to move towards the multiverse of Zeno-Sama at an incredible speed. That's right, they were determined to finish them all. After a few minutes, they had reached the barrier, which had been placed by Kakarot again.
So a barrier, this will be useless against my power.
At that moment, Archon would stretch one of his fingers, launching a powerful attack, which would pierce the barrier without any difficulty. At that moment, an amazing power would be felt through the multiverse of Zeno-Sama.
They've arrived. It's time for the final battle.
We're not allowed to lose, so don't be confident and use all your powers from the beginning.
At that very moment, the three warriors had arrived at the battlefield.
Today, finally, all our rivalry will end. Your descendants of Ryuga will finish with all of you, and will form a new multiverse without your essence. I want to end the life of the cursed priest.
At that moment, the trio of warriors had launched one against the other. Kakarot felt that the power of Archon was the most prominent of the three. He would throw himself at him. The battle that both were having was amazing. Thousands of blows. The battle they were having was amazing. Thousands of punches, kicks, and energy blasts were scattered throughout the universes. However, although Kakarot was using all his power in the Ultra Instinct, Archon was the only playing with Kakarot. Meanwhile, as Lucille and Vegeta both were very evenly matched, and this infuriated Lucille since he had realized that Kakarot's power had surpassed him. Although it was only by a very little, he'd been able to surpass his power. Meanwhile, as Kronos against Daishinkan, the battle that was a total disadvantage. That is, despite Kronos having trained, Daishinkan's power surpassed him by far. And this is thanks to the power that Zeno-Sama gave to Daishinkan. In the last exchange of blows, Kronos would be sent flying with a great blow, falling very badly wounded. At that moment of standing up, everything around him was spitting, while vomiting large amounts of blood.
I'd like to humiliate you much more for having set all the supreme gods against us, but I will not trust you. I'll finish you right now.
Daishinkan at that moment would charge a great attack of fire. At that moment, an incredible dragon of red-hot fire would head towards Kronos.
You pathetic angel, you won't be able to defeat me. That attack's nothing for me.
Kronos, when trying to stop it, it'd be impossible. That's right, in that instant, the whole body of Kronos began to be converted into simple dust of the universe. This would leave Lucille very surprised. He didn't know the incredible power that the angel possessed. At that moment, Lucille would increase much more his power, being able to connect some excellent blows to Vegeta. At that moment, at an amazing speed, he would throw himself against Daishinkan, which compared to Lucille, his power was nothing. But when his blow was able to connect with Daishinkan, Vegeta would hold his hand tightly.
You damn worm, I'm your opponent, so don't repeat what you just did.
Vegeta at that moment with a great blow would send him flying, and at that moment, he would charge an incredible attack. However, to everyone's surprise, Lucille would be able to disintegrate him, when a strong lightning would come out of his body.
Don't mind being affected by this power. I'll end your pathetic life.
Meanwhile, with the battle of Kakarot and Archon, Archon was giving him a beating, and despite having activated the Ultra Instinct, he was not able to dodge all the blows of Archon. At the time, Kakarot would fall to the ground badly wounded.
So you're the descendants of Ryuga. Don't make me laugh. Your power is pathetic. To finish with all these multiverses would be easier than taking candy from a child.
Kakarot at that moment would stand up, starting to increase his power in an amazing way, leaving a little astonished to Archon, who believed that Kakarot was using all his power. At that same instant, a great Ozara would form in the whole universe, and with a loud roar, would push back those present. However, from a great light could be seen Kakarot, with his whole body full of fur, and with a very serious look, he would observe Archon.
This is my maximum power. If I'm not able to do anything to you with this power, I don't know how I can defeat you.
At that moment, Kakarot, without letting Archon react, launched himself against him, giving him a few blows, which this time had caused him brutal damage. So much that in all the millions of years he had spit large amounts of blood. This event would surprise even Lucille, who was wearing out even his vitality to be able to maintain a battle against Vegeta.
Damn Saiyan, now I'll wipe out every trace of your existence.
Archon at that moment increased his power to 89% of all his power. Starting to fight against Kakarot, the pressure of his fists even caused damage to Vegeta and Lucille, who could not fight calmly.
Damn it, Kakarot's power's wearing out. I better finish this insect quickly. I'll leave my pride aside.
At that moment, Vegeta would communicate with Daishinkan, asking him to be a reinforcement with his battle. So it is, Daishinkan threw hundreds of energy spheres towards Lucille, which was much more difficult because he had to dodge the blows of Vegeta and Daishinkan's attacks. However, after an incredible battle, Vegeta, realizing that he is not able to take advantage, he threw himself against Lucille, holding him tightly.
Now both of us will explode. Let's see if you're resistant enough to withstand an explosion of my maximum power.
At that moment, the incredible power of Vegeta was increasing to the limit. Daishinkan at that moment would support with an angelic barrier for the entire body of Vegeta. At that precise moment, an incredible explosion could be seen by all the universes. That's right. Vegeta had ended the life of Lucille, but had also been on the verge of death, falling to the ground in terrible condition. Daishinkan at that moment would have approached quickly, and with his power, a great priest would have been able to make Vegeta regain all his power.
It's time to help Kakarot.
That's right, at the beginning, Kakarot and Archon were in a very even battle. However, over the course of hours, Kakarot's power began to decrease on the contrary of Archon, which at that moment would increase its power to the maximum to finish everyone once and for all. At that time, Daishoken and Vegeta were launched against Archon, being completely and all enveloped. At that moment, Kakarot would be in front of everyone, creating a light so intense which would leave Archon without vision.
It's time to do it.
Goku and Vegeta at that moment would take out the pendant, beginning to merge. At that moment, Vegito had appeared on the battlefield, which would pass it to its most powerful transformation, being the Mega Instinct, with which it would surpass the power of Kakarot in Phase 4, and at that time Archon had recovered his vision completely.
Who the hell are you, damn it?
I'm neither Goku or Vegeta. I'm the one in charge of killing you. My name is Super Vegito.
At that moment, Vegito launched himself against Archon, being able to give him a beating with which his power would diminish rapidly. However, after only 3 minutes battle, Vegito would charge a sneak attack, which Archon was able to dodge, and in that instant, the fusion would end, leaving Kakarot and Vegeta surprised. The Archon would not lose the opportunity, and at this moment, he connects some excellent blows. The instant Daishoken realized this, he launched himself into the attack and quickly communicated with both of them telepathically.
I'll self-destruct, and I'll give you the necessary time to merge through dance. I trust you. The palace of the king of all gathered all the Super Dragon Balls.
At that moment, Daishoken would begin to approach towards Archon, which, to be several meters away, Daishoken would explode with its maximum power. And in that instant, an amazing power would be felt in all the multiverses, even being able to feel Archon in incredible terror.
I'll not forgive you because of that, you miserable fault. Daishoken sacrificed himself.
Gogeta, without trusting, would connect millions of blows in a matter of seconds and charge a great attack.
Die, Beast Annihilator!
At that moment, a small sphere of energy would collide with Archon's body and make him disappear. And Gogeta at his maximum speed would head towards Zeno-Sama's castle, invoking the great god Zalma.
What is your wish?
I want everything to return to normal, and for all the divine beings to return to life.
It is rather complicated wish, but I am able to do it.
At that moment, the great god Zalma would rise to the top, and everyone would drop to power to be able to fulfill this great wish. At that moment, all the gods, angels, Daishoken, and Zeno-Sama would come watching Gogeta. At that moment, everyone would bow. That's right, even the supreme gods.
I'm the mighty Gogeta, and I'm the descendant of Ryuk-sama. If anyone wants to mess with the multiverses, I'll exterminate them.
The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained his serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the Devourer of Worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him. Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up. Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction. Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature's more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis's, creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The three powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity, when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
You can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The Destroyer God sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the Destroyer God. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict. "Do you have anything to say, Ryuk?" Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishinkan, the High Priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishinkan smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishinkan explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness.
Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. This sphere of divine containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishinkan continued to explain the importance of keeping the Sphere of Divine Containment safe and sealing Ryuk again.
Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise.
Beerus, Whis, and Daishinkan shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There was still work to be done.
If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the sphere of divine containment. Daishenkin, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Zeno-Sama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Zeno-Sama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Zeno-Sama with serious and determined expressions. Zeno-Sama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial.
We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses.
We don't have time to waste. What do you know?
Zeno-Sama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth.
And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Zeno-Sama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
What an honor, Kakarot! It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He is known as Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z Warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground, humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z Warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z Warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, 3 warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the 3 warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen, a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun. I don't know who you are, but we'll not allow you to harm our planet! Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black, malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield.
poison!
In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchman lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy. Do not underestimate the strength of androids. With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination. Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think. The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense. Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z-Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z-Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other 3 minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. The intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z-Warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaio-sama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaio-sama were immersed in the gravity of the situation. The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control? The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate.
Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and at the same time figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Kaiosama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Tenshinhan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Tenshinhan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Tenshinhan, two people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt.
Tenshinhan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat. We need time to deal with this.
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this.
Tenshinhan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyans' voices. Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchman, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception.
It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot.
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, "I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them." Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, "A bit surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takami, sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut." Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said, "More gods? This sounds very dangerous and it's exciting."
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans. "Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?" Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. "Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!"
Come on, God of Darkness. Show us what you can do.
Takami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury, His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness!
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takami. However, as the battle progressed, Takami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances.
Vegeta, it's time to go further.
Of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shinhan rushed to warn the other Z warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. The cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan.
Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better.
Of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning. A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do?
Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the evolved Blue Super Saiyan. Are they taking each other seriously now? Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Final flash! The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact. His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily. Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions. Big Bang Attack! Kaioken 20 times! The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy. This darkness is incredibly strong. We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this. Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously. Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness. The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyans' expressions. Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power. Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within. No, I haven't taken complete control yet! Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation. What's going on? Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form, but now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The Falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha. That's what Yamcha looks like! Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile. That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now. Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us?
It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Bahamut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing, was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Bahamut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takami.
Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Bahamut. But Takami wasn't going to give up so easily.
Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen?
The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after learning the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takami, I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Bahamut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyans fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option. I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Ten Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Ten Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Ten Shinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster. I'll come with you, Ten Shinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Ten Shinhan, Chaos.
Ten Shinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Ten Shinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Ten Shinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Ten Shinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Ten Shinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Ten Shinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Ten Shinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Ten Shinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that.
Goku, Vegeta,
Take care of our world. This is our last act.
At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takami. But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy. Is that all hope can do? Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more. This is far from over. The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z-Warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking if at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes. You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light.
You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind. A vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity. This is the limit of your tyranny, Takami.
The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god. You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takami lay in perfect unity and coordination. Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god.
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z-Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed the situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed. Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together.
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z-Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z-Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z-Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity.
They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta!
The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z-Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z-Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z-Warriors.
Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad! Vegeta! Goten! Trunks! We all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z-Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused!
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined. In an unexpected twist, Takami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds. "Gah! This can't be so strong!" Takami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned, we can't let this continue.
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes. "Brother, are you alright?"
Yes, but we need a new approach. We're not going to let this guy get away with this.
Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy, something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like, Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.